All right, so for this part now that we have some questions, this part of our presentation, we're going to actually look at how to create our survey. All right, so I want you guys to take out your computers and we're logging on to Microsoft Office. So we're going to go to www.office.com. Okay. Now, once you're there, we have to do the login process. Now, because we are Buffalo Public Schools, we now have access to Microsoft 365 or Office 365. But the first thing we have to do is we have to sign in. So I signed out just to show you how to do it. You will be using your Buffalo Schools credentials. So once you sign in, you have to go in and put in your password. It's going to be your username and password, just like if you were logging into your email. Sorry, I flipped my computer around. So here we're going to go. Oh, never perfect. Okay, so now if you ever see this screen, you can stay logged in if you would like to reduce the number of times you have to go log in and out, or you can press no. It's going to ask you either time unless you click the box that says do not. All right, so we are in our Microsoft Office 365 access point for Buffalo Schools. Now, it says apps on here, and these are programs that you are familiar with on your computer. However, you can use these online. Now, when you do use the online version, there are things that we haven't seen in our Microsoft Office suites before. One of those things are the tools, or is the tool that we're going to use for today. It's called Forms. Okay, so I'm going to split this video into two parts. The first one is going to be for forms for the actual survey creation, and the second will be for looking at the responses and sharing and whatnot. And then what I'm going to do is have you guys go in and create your own. So just to review, to get to the screen we're in now, we go to office.com, www.office.com. We put our email account in for Buffalo Schools. Once we do that, we'll be prompted to log in with our BPS credentials. So your username and password, the same thing you use to log into your computers and to log into your email. After we're in, this is where we are. So it's the afternoon right now, so it's giving us a good afternoon. And we just have to open up Forms. Okay? Once you get to this site here, now you see I have already made a couple of assessments, including your final assessment in here. This is going to be your home screen. When you're on this screen, this is what's going to guide you through creating a form. Now you see that you can also put a quiz in there. While that may be a topic of a different workshop, just keep that in mind that if you want to create a quiz using forms, you can. And mind you, if this looks familiar, it looks a lot like Google Forms, but it's through Microsoft Office, something that's a touch more reliable. As you see, it's on a secure site, and it's for us to use as BPS instructors, so we don't have to use an outside source. So how you want to do is we want to start with My Forms. We want to create a new form. Just a simple click, okay? And again, it's like Google Forms here, but let's just take a look at the screen and let's talk about everything that we see. We have the form, the button up here. There's, we can navigate through our different apps if we want to switch apps. So if we want to go to another one, we could, okay? Right now we're in Forms. The Preview tab allows us to preview whatever we've created. Now here's something nice, and you create it, and on here you can see a computer version of it or a mobile version of it. So if the users are using a tablet or a cell phone, you can see what it will look like, and that goes a lot into your design. Okay, you can pick themes in here where you have the generic ones that are supplied, or you can pick your own image and spruce it up however you like. The share part we'll get to on after we look at the survey and then responses. So very simply, to add a new thing in there, we want to give it a topic. So let's call it Assessment Tool Sample. Okay. Getting feedback. Now, once we've given a title, it auto saves. It shows you right up here in the corner that it will save, much like Google Forms will do as well. We can add our questions. Now it gives you options of the type of questions that you can add in here. So if you want to add something for the date, or rating questions, or fist to 5, or stars, or something like that, that's be the one. For your more open-ended and response-oriented questions, you can do that here, or you can make it multiple choice. If you decide for a question to be multiple choice, you can list your options here. You can create options. You can add options in here. You can make it a required one so no one can skip it, or you can allow them to answer multiple questions. So we're going to make it multiple answers, and we're going to make it required. We're going to leave that question generic. Now we're looking at a text-based question. We can make it required as well. We can make it for a long answer, so there's more space for students to answer as opposed to a shorter one. So we're going to make it a long answer. And we can type a question that is open-ended. All right. Now every time we hit add question, it just adds one right below what we just created. And these arrows allow us to shift a question up or down. We can delete questions, or we can copy them and use them again. All right, so for the next one, we looked at multiple choice, we looked at text. Let's look at our rating ones. So we can have 5 levels, we can have 10. If you want to do 0 to 10 or 1 to 10, you can do numbers. Okay, and mind you, notice when we made it required, it's making all the questions required. So if you really want people to answer all of the questions and not skip them, you can make them required. So if you were doing a longer assessment, you have the opportunity to do that. Otherwise, you don't have to make it required, and they can skip it. Okay, so we're looking at our scale questions, so we can go our levels from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. We can make it numbers or stars. However you want to assess your students to get the evaluative information, this is a way to do it. Lastly, we're looking at the date one. Now for the date questions, they can select the date. So, if you're looking for more of a quiz side of it, but it is available for you. So if you want to say what date did such and such happen, X, Y, and Z happen, they can select the date in here. Okay. Now with that, you can always, let's go back, let's delete that question and let's add the one. You can do it as a multiple choice as well and list dates. So it really just depends on how you want to navigate your survey. Once you have your questions, you can put them right in here. And when you put them in here, you can determine how you want to organize your survey. So if you want to scroll up, scroll down, shift questions around, change it around for different class periods, you can. And that's where we'll stop for the first video, and we'll get ready to go on to the next one.